Hey there, guys and gals. Hopefully this finds you doing fantastic. Today is Tuesday, April the 12th, in the year 2022. Excuse that little adjustment. And hopefully this finds you outstanding. And it is countdown to 300 subscribers. I want to thank each one of you, especially the brand new ones. My subscriber count has increased, I don't know, in the last week or two or three, by several, 10, 20, 30 subscribers, whatever it might be. So I do appreciate it. And remember, if you want to help Mazske stick around here, because I really want to stick around for decades on this channel. And as time goes, the channel will evolve. Maybe one day I'll get a studio, etc., and better content. Maybe I'll get a helper who can add graphic and videos and text into my videos. So the sheep of the world, who all they do is chase the headlines and want the pretty stuff, maybe they'll come to my channel too. Maybe they can learn something. But you guys, you're not the sheep of the world. You're unique. You are a contrarian type investor. You're looking at blue collar Mazske, saying if Mazske can go from 0 to 25 in 4 years, well, by golly, I can go to 0 to 25 in 4 years. Or something along those lines, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yep, I see you smiling out there. Yes, you are. And trust me, if Mazske can do it, so can you. So can you. So anyway, an anniversary is coming up tomorrow for me and this channel. I started this channel on April the 13th in the year 2021. So tomorrow is April the 13th, 2022. So here's a goal that I will never hit. Can we hit 300 subscribers by tomorrow? I doubt it. But you guys out there, I think I have 289 subscribers. So if 11 of you, better make it 13 of you. Lucky 13, right? Because somebody might unsubscribe. So if 13 of you can get your best friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kid, your coworker, your peers, a stranger on the street, get them to subscribe to my channel, by golly, we will hit 300 by tomorrow. So anyway, enough of that. So what is going on in your life? In your life, I trip over my words sometimes, I dare say. Hopefully you liked the video yesterday with Millennial Mike and myself. We discussed doing the BRRRR and rising interest rates. I did have a viewer email me, and they sent me a link to an article, and they had some comments that they emailed me, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate every email that someone sends me. My email is always in my description. But the link to the article, and I don't have the article in front of me, was something to the gist of, as interest rates rise and you're running your numbers, your cash flow may not drop as much as what you think it is going to drop. Why, young grasshopper? It is because as the interest rate goes up, you are now paying more interest. Interest is tax deductible. So as you pay more interest, your tax deduction increases, which in theory should decrease your tax bill, which should increase the amount of money you keep in your pocket. All right? Does that make sense? If you're not a real estate investor, you don't quite understand it. If you are a real estate investor and you have done your own taxes, or you have looked at your tax return that your CPA does for you, you will find there are a variety of things that are tax deductions on real estate. Insurance and taxes and interest are some of them. Depreciation that the government requires us to take is 27.5 years based on the property, the building, not the land. You are required to take it. Why are you required to take it? Because if you don't take it, no one's going to tell you. If you do your own taxes and you don't take it, no one's going to say, oh, you forgot to take depreciation. They're not going to tell you that. But what will happen when you sell that property, you are required to recapture all the depreciation you deducted. And guess what? Even if you don't deduct it, if you sell the property and the IRS sees you sold a property and you did not recapture it, they will recapture it for you, which means you have more taxes to pay. So take the depreciation, save on your taxes now, because the government will always get their money, no matter what, okay? But you can get out of it by doing a 1031 exchange. But this video is not talking about 1031 exchanges. But if you don't know what a 1031 exchange is, now you have heard of it. A 1031 exchange is how you can sell an investment property, roll the money into a new property, And there's conditions to meet, and I'm not going to cover all those conditions, but you can defer the taxes on the capital gains taxes. You can defer them, and perhaps defer them indefinitely until you die, and even beyond your death, okay? Now, with that being said, anytime there's a tax law, it can change like that. Our administration, doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican, they're both the same, okay? And I'm not going to talk politics, but just keep in mind, if you're strong one side or the other, they're both the same. They're both the same. They are a bunch of filthy rich people, okay? If they weren't rich when they got elected, they are now rich, like very, very rich. They are rich, okay? And all they do is spend money. Spend, 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 spend. If you say, oh no, this party spends it all. No. Look at the last administration. Look how much money they spent. Look back. If you go back decades, sure, there was a difference in the parties. And there are still some differences, but basically the two parties are the same. All right, and that's enough politics for this. All right, so what else? There's something else I want to talk on here real quick, so stick around. It'll come to me. But investing, getting started, getting your first rental, don't be intimidated, all right? Do not be scared, do not be intimidated by investing. It's just like in life. Don't be intimidated by life. If you're 30 years old or 35 or 40, don't be dreading getting older. It's a part of life. Do you want the alternative? The alternative is dying young. You don't want to die young. And if you're Michael Zuber out there, if you know Michael Zuber, I texted him. I asked him his age. He's getting close to 50. I sent him a text, something about getting a colonoscopy. He didn't reply to me. So if you know Michael Zuber, encourage him to get a colonoscopy because he's about 50 years old. It's a silent killer, basically. You do not feel polyps growing in your insides, in your intestines or your esophagus or anything. You do not feel it. And if they become cancerous, you don't feel it either in the beginning. By the time you feel it, it might be too late. All right? So if you know anyone out there who's 42-ish and above, talk to them about this. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Financial channels say don't be shy about talking about your finances. Don't be shy about talking about health stuff either, because we're all in this world together. All of us. We all got to make it through the game of life. It doesn't matter. You sit back and you play your video games. You sit back and you watch your sporting events. Especially in sports, you might say, oh man, those athletes, they're it. They're it. But guess what? Old athletes are dying every single week. Sometimes young athletes are dying. Okay? It's life. It's just part of life. We have to make it through the game of life. Hopefully a long life. So part of having a long life is do the cool stuff. The cool stuff. Wear your seatbelt. Floss your teeth. Use a water pick. Walk. Learn how to walk. Exercise. Use some dumbbells. Do some yoga. Go to the gym. But you don't have to become a gym fiend, a gym rat. You don't have to do that. Just tone yourself up. Take care of yourself. And get those checks that those doctors might say you need. Don't be shy about getting them. Sometimes your doctor might not even tell you. The family doctor they're busy. They might forget to mention it to you. But they're saying on colonoscopies now, they're starting to drop the age to 45. Recommended to get it perhaps at 45 or get some other test at age 45. It's getting younger. And as I referenced in another video, younger people are dying of colon cancer. Chadwick Boseman or Boswick. I think I said he's 42. He's 43 when he died. Famous actor, millionaire, multi-millionaire. Trey Mancini, professional athlete, baseball player, plays for the Baltimore Orioles. 28 years old, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Missed an entire year of baseball, getting chemo. He's in the hospital, etc., etc., etc. He's now back playing baseball because he was 28 years old. Okay? But it's happening to younger people. All right? So take care of yourself. And most importantly, above and beyond this, learn how to invest. Learn how to manage your own finances. All of us who work, we get a paycheck. All right? You get a gross amount of pay. Like your boss, your employer might say you make $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year is $5,000 a month. That's your gross. But you'll look at your paycheck and be like, That's not $5,000 a month. I get paid $2,000 paycheck. That's $4,000 a month, which is only $48,000 a year, right? Something like that, okay? But that's because they take out deductions, and everyone knows there's deductions. You'll hear coworkers talk about, oh man, look at that. What's that FICA tax? There are people who don't know what FICA tax is. It's Social Security tax. You also got Medicare, Medicaid, whatever one it is, part of that. You also got federal taxes, state taxes, your 401k deduction, your 457 plan deduction, your 403b deduction. You might have something else, health insurance I might have mentioned already. You might have the eye insurance or dental. There's always deductions that come out of paychecks, okay? So learn what so you probably know how much you make. Unless you're an hourly employee at like a fast food restaurant, you might not know how that plays out over a year's time because no one told you. But if you work a career job, you know what your annual salary is. And you know what your take-home pay is because you get your paycheck. How much is left over after your take-home, after your paycheck? The majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That basically means nothing's left over or very little's left over. All right, how much is left over when you need a new set of tires, or you need to change your oil, or you need to buy expensive light bulbs for your house, or whatever it may be? Do you have the money to pay for it, or are you using a credit card, going into credit card debt? I tried, and I don't stick to it in tracking my personal expenditures, my personal finances. Okay, I track my net worth. What I'm talking about is tracking my monthly expenses. I started doing it back in January. By February, I stopped. Okay, I like to do it so I get a better handle on my own individual finances. But basically, as long as I'm paying all my bills and my credit card is paid and credit cards are paid in full each month, and I still have some money left over, I'm doing okay, all right? I'm doing okay. So I'll stick, it's worked for me for 54 years, basically. So that's my way of doing things. I am behind on my taxes, getting stuff compiled up. My CPA told me 2 months ago, basically he was going to file an extension for me because I have real estate. I do have a little bit of stocks, especially last year. I think I sold some stocks, excuse me. And I have oil drilling investments. I have mineral rights, acreage. I have some crypto. Yes, crypto. You got to pay tax on crypto. But my crypto started off here and is down here, so my guess is I probably don't have to pay any tax on that. So we'll see. But anyway, I got time because then extension will be filed, so I got time to try to organize all that stuff in here. So anyway, good enough. What else? Oh, my attorney. One of my attorneys. I have a team of attorneys. I like saying that. I have a team of attorneys. Okay, one of them will be appearing on my channel maybe later this week, finally. It's been a while. And I want to hopefully get them talking about what they can do in regards to LLCs and trust and that sort of thing. And I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to ask them a question because they don't watch my channel. I'm going to ask them, when do you recommend a real estate investor start this? And I'm curious, will they say, well, right now, before they even buy the first rental? Or, well, after they get 1 or 2 or 3, go ahead and contact us. My guess is they're going to say, as soon as you get your first one, you need to do it for protection. They're lawyers. Lawyers go to the extreme. All I can say is for myself personally, I had 9 rental properties. I had 10 properties altogether, counting my personal home. Because all 10 of mine were put into trust and LLCs that when I first started. Okay, so my personal home, they threw it in. They didn't charge me extra for that because they charged me enough already. So I had 9 rental properties when I started, basically. And I thought to myself, I should have started earlier. Not started before I got my first one. Not started with my first or second or third. But maybe by my 5th or 6th. For mazske, that might have been the appropriate time, just for peace of mind. And I know there are some out there, Dion, who watches my channel, will tell you this. You can get umbrella insurance. You can get your normal insurance and you get umbrella insurance over top, I have normal insurance. I have $1 million general liability in my landlord insurance that I have, so $1 million liability. I have umbrella insurance, somewhat, on my properties, and I have LLCs and trust, okay? Insurance is fine when it's something little, but insurance companies will try to get out of paying, okay, if it's something big. They don't want to pay a lot of money. But if somehow a landlord gets a huge lawsuit, like when I say huge, I don't know, $5 million, let's say, and say it was something negligent that they did not even realize they did because they didn't do it because the tenant is sort of making it up, but the tenant is believable in how they do it, and it's going to go to court, and the insurance company says, so you only have $1 or $2 million umbrella. You're on your own there, buddy. Well, you better have some other kind of protection, okay? And if you truly do something negligent, you better have some kind of protection. And if you're out there and you have no LLC, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm definitely not a lawyer talking about this stuff, okay? But this is just my way of thinking. I was a cop for 20 years. I saw officers get sued. I saw the city get sued. So if you're out there and you do not want LLCs because you have insurance, what happens if you do something stupid? I'm just generalizing here. You do something stupid, you get drunk, and you hit and kill 7 people, okay? And they decide to sue, and then they get a lawyer who finds out you have a bunch of real estate. They might go after everything. And if you had LLCs and you did everything properly, they can't touch it. If you don't have LLCs and they go after everything because of negligence, because you had one too many, or say you didn't even have one too many, you're a non-drinker, but you did something, you ran a red light, something little, but you killed kids, you killed people. You could get a big lawsuit, all right? And if they get a lawyer and that lawyer finds out you have rental property, their eyes get bigger. So be careful. And granted, with that being said, with almost all real estate investors, you get mortgages, which means the bank owns, starting off, approximately 80% of the property. So you do not have very much equity, okay? But you want to keep what you have, okay? And the bank's not going to want to lose everything either. So I don't know how it would all play out. I do not know how it will all play out if that happens. Hopefully, it will never happen to me, to you, to anybody. Okay, but we live in I won't be able to say it right, we live in a society where people like to sue a lot. All right? We have too many lawyers, and that's part of the problem. Okay, but I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. All right, so it's getting long. I didn't mean for this to get this long. I got to go get groceries, and I got some other stuff on the agenda to do. I got to get done. I got appointments this afternoon. There's always appointments, isn't it? All right, seems like when I'm retired, I have no time to do anything. So, all right, y'all take care. Stay safe. Mazske is signing out.